What is going on, everybody? Man, that intro just it gets me pumped every single time. I like it a lot. But welcome everybody to as always Monday Night Heat, the I guess one of the two only live call-in shows in the hobby where you dictate the show, what you want to talk about, any questions, just anything you'd like to talk about. It is all about you. I will be posting the link for you guys to call in here in just a little bit. But as you can see, we do have five people here today, actually. So first, starting off, of course, my name, you guys know me, Drew, the DH, and let me get that potograph. And right here with me, wearing a Cubs hat, is my little man Jude. So he's going to be joining us for a little bit.
You're going to be out of work soon, Drew.
Yeah, as long as he behaves, he will be here. And we've also got joining us from the Sports Card Nation, Hobby Quick Hits, chilling in his hot tub and all these a million other shows, Mr. John Newman. What's going on, man?
Morning. How are we?
Yeah, morning, huh? And then we've also got the king of NASCAR himself, NASCAR Radio's own, your pal Val. What's going on, Val?
Hey, gentlemen.
What's going on? And then I told you we had a surprise guest, and then John said that surprises are for kids, so he blew it.
Although Jude is here, so
yeah, so that's where the idea came from. But joining us tonight, a guest host for us, a man that needs no introduction, of course, Mr. Eric Norton from Beckett himself. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, I'm still looking for my keys. If you have seen my keys,
yeah.
The whole reason I'm on the show tonight is like I really need to be driving. I'm tired of walking everywhere. Help me find my keys.
Well, if anyone can find Eric's keys, definitely let him know. Jude, have you seen Eric's keys anywhere? No, you haven't. Okay, all right. Well, the link is in the chat, guys. Please call in. Any questions, comments, anything you have in the hobby. It's been a crazy week, so I know there's lots of stuff, guys. But I mean, I guess there's four of us here. Where do you guys want to start? There's so much stuff going on, John. I'm going to kick it off to you and let you kick it off. I've got about 50 things I could talk about. So in the hobby this week, what's been catching your attention the most?
The one thing I'm keeping my eye on, and ends this week, is that Mike Trout 101 Super Factor. Last I checked that was yesterday, so it might be higher. It was at $1,450,000.
Yes,
I bailed out at $1 million. That was my wife said I can't go any higher, and so I was out then. But this might be the first $2 million card, modern day, anyway, if you will. So we'll see. It's got like 5 days left.
Yeah. So Eric, you deal at Beckett. You deal with big time cards and seeing this stuff all the time. What do you think about this card as I'm pulling it up on the screen here? And and everything going on.
Actually, I'm actually getting text right now as we're talking about this. Ken Golden's going to be on the show tomorrow night with Steve and I talking about this card. This is really great. Obviously, being from Beckett, it's great to see it in the Beckett case. But it's one bid away from being the highest priced modern card ever. So that next bid is $1 million. That's going to set the record, and I do think it'll probably get that without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing is, the story behind this card everybody knows. Vegas Dave obviously bought this for around $400,000. I think it was about 2 years ago. And I remember on my show, I laughed at it, called him a fool, thought it was ridiculous that he would spend this money for this card. Never in a million years did I expect what we're seeing now. And now, like you just said, it's going to go down as, the most expensive modern card. He's gonna net well over $1 million off of this 2-year investment off of this. It's it really shows you where we are in the hobby. I mean, you get cards I mean, you get Kyle Lewis, who's getting these massive bumps all the way up to Mike Trout, you know, where you're setting records. It seems like we're setting records every single week.
It really is. I'm sorry to cut you off, guys. I see Ziggy wants to know when the auction ends. I believe it's this Saturday. It's this Saturday.
It is this Saturday.
It's crazy to think about where we are right now from 5 months ago, how things have gone. We've all talked about it on our respective shows, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But this card in particular, with the story behind it, and just how hot the market is right now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this sold for $3 million. Or you know, that's nuts. You know, that's just crazy.
I know. I mean, look at that right there. Minimum bid of $1 million. Current bid $1,450,000. Just absolutely amazing to me.
So you win it for $2 million. Do you crack it out, resubmit it, and try to get it?
You stop what you're doing and choose to sit here and be on the show, or go do something else. Yeah, I know. I
thought you were talking to me. I'm like,
I thought so too.
It's a legitimate question.
I'm sorry. I'm not even kidding. Like right now, Ken Golden is texting me because we're talking about this card, and it's what he's done at Golden Auctions in the last few months has been crazy. You know, with the LeBron, but to think about this too. If you look at the rest of the auction catalog for what's going to end on Saturday, there is a legit Michael Jordan game-used jersey in that auction. There is a legit pair of Jordan 1s signed 3 different times by Jordan in that auction. And they pale in comparison price-wise to that Trout. You could buy both of those items and still have money left over to buy other things in said auction. And it's just nuts.
No, I know it truly is. By the way, I would just like to point out, go Avalanche, as we take down the Phoenix Coyotes, and we're one step closer to that Stanley Cup berth. But
that's fine. But me and John will say thank you to the Carolina Hurricanes. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick.
Yeah, number 1 pick for New York. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Vegas Dave, can't believe he actually got, this out of this.
Have the last laugh,
Yeah, he's got the last laugh, that's for sure.
So I didn't realize
this will at least pay off the David Carr, all the David Carr cards he bought and paid a premium for.
I didn't realize this was the same auction house that had the LeBron.
Yeah.
We got to, real quick, sorry to cut you off. Joe Light, thank you for commenting. I completely agree right here. This card and ones like it anchor this hobby. I think that it's a good indicator that we won't have a bubble burst like mid-90s. Maybe a market correction, but not a burst. And I kind of talk about this on this week's episode of the show, which just started this week. That just launched today, but I really do think there are safeguards in the hobby right now that'll make it from, completely, blowing up like it did at the end of the junk era. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, I think what Joe said, I've said it too on my show, Drew, is that the hobby's too strong to have what you would call a crash or the bottom fallout. And when we use the term market correction, I think certain cards, I don't think the whole hobby necessarily. I think you're going to see certain cards when things sort of get back to normal. And, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think some of what's going on with the pandemic and the surpluses and the unemployment bonuses and the stimulus package has helped. I don't think it's the sole reason for what we're seeing, but it definitely not hurt it. It's been a factor. How big a factor is debatable, but I'm putting some onus on that. And so when this all kind of, and hopefully it's sooner than later, kind of is in our rear view mirror, it's going to be interesting to see where the hobby, if it corrects itself and to what level.
So I just had a thought while you were talking about that. So what's the better deal, the Trout here or the 86 Fleer basketball case that just sold?
That's a good question.
Like you talk, I think it was 1.8 that Fish blowout paid for that.
I mean, if it's me, I would say that it would be the case, because you would have to open the case for it to be that valuable, because you would have to take all those Jordans and grade all those Jordans, and then I think I think it's 90 Jordans or something that's supposed to be in there. You take all those together, and then you see how much
36.
Yeah,
I believe it's 36.
Okay, 36 Jordans down the line. You add that money up, I think it's going to end up a little more than the Trout itself would be. But that would be me. What's up,
that's a great question. That's a great question, Val.
It is.
I'll say it's the case if you, like Drew just said, if you open it and you grade those 36 Jordans,
dude, come hang out.
You hit a couple of 10s or a bunch of 9s. I mean,
come hang out.
So, John, following what you're saying, man, and also Val, I think what you really have to consider though is what's past that Jordan, the rest of that rookie class that's in there. I know that you're not going to get $30,000-$40,000, say they grade out 9s, 9.5s or 10s or whatever. You're not going to get $30,000 or $40,000 for those other rookies, but cumulatively throughout the whole case, I think you're in a better place. I think. I've been wrong before. I was married to a horrible woman once. It's okay. You get things wrong, but
and the Trout hasn't ended yet, so we might be surprised.
And Eric makes a great point, because you got those other rookie cards in there. They're not the Jordan. It's a great point. But if those graded 10, if a Olajuwon, a Ewing, a Barkley graded 10, those are going to bring 5 digits in money too, and that's just if one of them. So cumulatively, like Eric said, I'll echo that. I think it's probably, if you have to pick one, if you're going to open the case, I would pick the case over the Trout. If you're going to keep the case closed and you can't open it, I'll probably take the Trout over the case.
Yeah, I think I think I would have to agree with you there.
I was just looking real quick. Just the checklist alone's going for $3,000 to $4,000 a piece, and 10s.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a wonder.
None of us are gonna have to really answer that question legitimately.
I collect NASCAR. I'm the last one in the group that will be bidding on it.
I hear you there. So,
but it's just amazing. It's just incredible that this Trout and that Vegas Dave with this kind of flip here for the last couple of years. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is. It kind of shows where we are in the hobby. I'm trying to find a certain card right now. I wanted to pull up and show you guys.
I don't follow him. Is he kind of puffing his chest out on any of the social medias already? The
last time I saw, he was building houses and stuff in Italy or whatever.
Yeah, he's dating that model. He's dating that ESPN reporter. I think he's doing quite well.
Yeah, before the pandemic, he was sitting courtside at the Lakers with an ESPN model. So he's okay.
Now, one other thing we touched on Saturday, someone had asked a question about insurance. So, this is probably a card you want to look at insuring as well.
Well, yeah, you absolutely. And I think that's something that, and maybe you guys know a little bit more about this than I do. But when you're looking at cards like this now, this is far from the only card that is, commanding this type of money. You're seeing cards that are just commanding astronomical amounts, and it's really to the point where even people like myself, people that don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to put into cards, can actually acquire cards like this. Where do you guys kind of see this as something where insuring your collection and really getting that stuff done is almost going to become a necessity? Are we headed that way because it's it's really becoming so strong. And once again, guys, before they do answer, I am putting the link to call in the chat. So please call in with any questions or comments you do have.
I would say if you're a homeowner or whatever, you should at least try to get a rider from your insurance company to cover some of your collectibles.
If J-Lo can insure her butt for whatever she did, I don't understand why you might not want to go ahead and insure this as well.
That's a very good point.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I used to work for an insurance company, and you can insure everything and anything. These stars,
And what Val said is something I do personally. So you can add on a rider. You just pretty much kind of tell them what amount you have. The other thing I do, it might be a good idea, is I videotape some of my inventory via my phone. So if something happens in the house and you have to leave, you have it on your phone. At least some sort of documentation that this was in that house, that God forbid for anybody, a fire or something to that effect.
And that's where one of the things I was going to say real quick, that having your cards graded through Beckett, PSA, whatever, that's helps with the serial numbers and stuff, and showing that you own the card and that the grade is legit from a third party.
This Val, you bring up a great point, but what I wanted to bring up here was a few years ago. It was before a national in Chicago. It was like the night before or the day before the national. Rob Schneider's home got broken into, and his Hank Aaron collection got stolen. That was, he didn't have it insured, but he had some pretty high tier Hank Aaron PSA rookies that were, just gone, and it kind of got buried because the national was literally the next day or the day after, and no one talked about it. But I bet if you look at Rob Schneider, who's now doing Netflix specials, you probably wishes that he had that insured.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and that's one of the things that makes me think about this is instances just like that. Like that's where it makes me think like it might be something that a lot of people need to definitely start considering. And you mentioned something there. I guess we'll switch topics a little bit. You mentioned the word the national. And what up, Gio? What's going on, man? I know that third nipple of yours, man. It's invaluable. But we were at the supposed to be recovering from the national. We should all be exhausted from a very long week, but obviously we're here, and we just got the news that the national is officially canceled. So there is no national this year. And I talked about it on the show this week, and I really want to get y'all's opinion on this, because I know they'll probably change the national and just keep it, and move it till next year and not do like one in the meantime. But do you think, it seems to me the way the hobby is now, that it almost needs, and there's a perfect opportune time for a new show to arise that maybe not to rival the national, but maybe the SummerSlam to its WrestleMania, or its Pro Bowl to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like another maybe mid-year show where everyone gets together, and something new. And with the national, being canceled, I think this would probably be the best time to do it, as I do think by February, March, April, I think there will be a lot of things will change, and a lot of live events will be going on.
Anybody else want to take this before I jump in?
Yeah. Well, there was rumor that the national, I don't know if it's true, but there was some rumblings, and Eric might even know more about this than me, but I heard that the national had considered doing it bi-yearly, have two shows, every 6 months. I mean, you do have some other big shows. You got some, right?
Yes.
In Dallas, you got Chantilly in Virginia. You got right here on the East Coast, you got the White Plains, which they call the East Coast national, and I'm imagining they're doing something in California as well. And so I think you have sort of those shows, but like that's why I brought up. I heard a rumor that the national, whether they still are or at one point were considering doing the national twice a year in 2 different locations.
I cannot confirm that. I think that actually that might be.
Can you deny it though?
I can't deny it either.
Okay, all right, there we go.
But actually, honestly, that probably would be a better question for somebody involved with the national, maybe Ray Schulte or somebody like that. Yeah. With that being said, just given how you just mentioned White Plains and Chantilly, and those usually happen the week after the national. Then in November, I don't know if it's still going on or not, but in November they would have the big TriStar show in San Francisco, and this coming weekend there's a show here in Dallas. So I think there are.
Hey, let's not forget Eric, Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah, there are definitely shows available, or were shows available that I don't want to say rival the national, but they gave collectors other bigger shows to go to. Obviously, this is just an off year. It's weird. I don't really know what to think about it, but it's even TriStar in Houston. That was twice a year. They did it around Father's Day and around Father's Day and Valentine's Day.
Right.
There was enough shows for people to go to. I don't think anything will ever be as big as the national. That's why it's called the national, and so it's just it's something nice to have. There's Chris Harris chiming in with Chantilly, so that's a great show. People have been asking to go that.
And no, I agree. There are a million other great shows out there. I just think that this is a time where if people wanted to come in and try and make that secondary show, I think with the national dropping out is a prime opportunity to really make something big. But it is obviously disappointing. There is no national. I won't get to see you guys this year or anything, or at least not for a little while. It does look like. But Eric, along those lines, also instead of canceling, you guys over at Beckett did do a little change with your summit by making it virtual, I understand.
Yes.
What do you guys know about that so far? What's going to be going on?
There's not a whole lot to be said about it that wasn't in the press release the other day, last week. They're still making plans for it. With that being said, I'm drastically struck down in the heart right now. I really wanted to go to Vegas. I don't even like Vegas. I can't tell you one good thing about Vegas, but I wanted to. I like buffets, so I wanted to go there. But so right now they're still in the planning stages for it. As announcements start coming out, it'll be out in the public. Everybody can see what's going to be happening. But this is a different feel. I was a part of the virtual Toronto Expo back in May, I think it was. And, that was different. It felt different, but I think a lot more people had the opportunity to interact. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of that. If this is a virtual setting, I think people are going to feel more comfortable, obviously, because there's not going to be, crap in the air that you can catch and take home to your family. No one wants to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ted and Ray lay this out. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything goes as well.
I've never been to Vegas, so
when
this thing's all over, I'm going to be try to be the first one to sign up for the real. I don't want to say the real one, but where you can attend in person and handshake or elbow bump or whatever it is we're doing at that time. I like to meet people in person and talk to them face to face. I'm a handshaker, look them in the eye guy. I hope we get to shake hands again at some point, whether that's via vaccine. I know people elbow bump me at work now, and it's kind of odd, but it is what it is. But I hope we get back to some sort of normalcy. There's nothing Everyone in this quad box has been to shows or set up at shows even. There's something to that that's special, and I hope we get to do it again, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so let's see here. I want to take a look through some comments here.
Did we put a link out for everybody?
Yes, I do have a link. Everyone, please call in if you have any questions. It does not have to be about what we are talking about. If you have any questions regarding anything in the hobby that you'd like to talk about, or if you just want to, like, literally, if there's just something you want to get off your chest, call in. You don't have to do video. You can do just audio as well. But once again, the link.
Where'd you put that, Drew?
Do what? It's right in the chat, and I think somebody just called in. Hey, what's going on, my man?
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, Mr. Norton? Good to see another Texas face in the house.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
So while we're on the subject of the National, I actually looked last night at hotels for Chicago, and a Wednesday through Sunday show. I've never done a Wednesday through Sunday show. I've got family situations, and I'll throw it out there. I'm a divorced dad. I have my daughter for the month of July. Well, the last week that I have her is the week of the National. So I've got a plan around, and that will be her senior year. So I've got to do a little bit of planning involved in this. And what I wanted to know and hear comments on is, do you go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or do you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Which days are best for going?
I think you guys mind if I go first here?
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to be taking over your show, Drew. I promise you, I don't mean to be doing that.
Bro.
Yeah, you do. It's all Texas in the house. It's okay. We can do it.
I know you do, Eric. But take the floor.
So it really depends on what you want. Wednesday night, there's a VIP party. Tops usually throws, and there's a VIP like preview. And if you can be a part of that, it's cool. It's cool to get there and see everything. And you might want to shop. Because Wednesday there's not really any shopping going on. The floor is usually open, and you can get around and see stuff, and maybe you can make some deals. But when the show opens on Thursday and Friday, you might have a little bit of advantage because the weekend hasn't hit yet, so that not everybody is droving into there. And I will tell everybody here can speak to how crowded Chicago is, man. When I use the term nut to butt, that's really what it is, man. Yeah. It is crowded in there. So Thursday and Friday,
Texasisms.
Friday might be your best way to. Thursday and Friday might be your best way to shop and find stuff. What I always tell people, especially if it's their first time going, is like, man, don't buy anything on the first day. Wait till the next day. That way you can see everything, and then you can make your decision. Now, the corporate VIP parties are usually Friday and Saturday night. So if you have a corporate account with Panini and you're going to the Panini VIP party, well, that's something you don't want to miss. If you have a corporate account, with like say, I think Southern Harbor does a big corporate party, VIP party. That's something you don't want to miss. So if that's a big deal to you, I would definitely book for the later dates. And then Sunday, I hate to say this, but this has been true the last few years. Sunday, it's kind of dead. People are starting to pack out on Saturday night into Sunday morning, and you can find some deals on the floor because people are just looking to move stuff. So like Rich Klein said, it's really up to your preference what you're looking for. That might be the best way to put it.
I would also add, like, if you're going and your intention is to buy, if you're going with the intention to purchase, do a lot of research through social media, because a lot of the places that are putting stuff out will showcase what they'll have out. After that, I normally put together a list of things I want, a list that other people want, things to look for. I do my research through just because I'm literally looking at cards 24 hours a day. It seems like if I'm not playing with Jude, and then I normally take that first day, the preview day that Eric was talking about. I normally take that day to go find most of those things and try and grab what I can and what I know is there, like the dollar bin places, for example. There are some dollar boxes that have $20-$30 cards in them, and everyone knows they're in them. But if you're in that VIP area, you can run in there, get the stuff, and be able to grab it. But otherwise, I'd have to 1,000% agree with Eric. The only thing about Sunday, I will say, is while everyone is exhausted and I'm normally ready to get out of there, it's also an excellent time to be able, I don't know about this year, but it's a great time to stock up on supplies and some really big bulk boxes of some random stuff to find some stuff later, as a lot of people just don't want to pack their truck up after that long-ass week.
I'm sorry, I got to jump back in here. You made a great point, Drew, but two things on that. You're going to be fighting Burbank sports cards for those bulk boxes.
Yes.
Be prepared to, like, if that's your plan of attack, just know that Rob Veras is there, Ryan Veras is there, and they're buying everything that's left on the floor that no one wants to take home. So be early. And Drew was talking about the dollar boxes. You're going to have to beat Dr. Beckett. You're going to have to beat Dr. Beckett because Dr. Beckett is searching through those dollar boxes to find those same
bring
cards.
your Dr. Beckett beating stick is what you're saying.
We actually met for the very first time going through dollar boxes. So yes, I will attest to that. 1,000.
Your black eye went away. That's good.
Yeah, you can find, you have the folks who have all the dollar boxes, and then you have the ones that look like they brought the boxes from the flea market and just sat there and, I won't say dumpster dive, but, you can find, you never know what you're going to find. So one other thing I was going to add, or two other things. One is PSA does their registry luncheon on Friday, and Tops, if you can catch it, if you're there early, Tops does a Q&A with some food and drink with giveaways. If you're there, you have to sign up. I think they're limited to 100 or 200, but I would say do not miss it.
Okay, so what about meeting all y'all? What about meeting all y'all schlubs? Go ahead.
And Brad, here's the thing. Last year was my first Nationals. Crazy for being in the hobby 30-something years. The first time I got to meet Eric and Drew in person. That's the other thing. If you kind of want to meet a bunch of people that you know in online form in person, you almost need you got to set aside a day just for that. For me, I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And like Eric said, Sunday, I'm a dealer. Sunday's kind of like, let's get the show on the road. We had a great show. We had a bad show, but this is it. It's a good day to get some deals on some last minute cards that people don't want to put back in their cases or boxes and make them a little lighter. So it's a good shopping day. So I took a day to meet folks. I had another day to do 3 interviews on site for the show. And then I had the 2 days. Saturday and Sunday was kind of my looking at actual stuff and buying some stuff. I sort of waited to the last couple of days before I really bought anything. And the first day was sort of meet and greet. The second day was interviews, and then the third and fourth day were cards. And it depends, like Rich says, depends what your itinerary is, your approach. And this year I was going to the Atlantic City show, and I had the whole week off from work, and I had reservation. I was going to be there the whole week, and as we know, that's not going to happen. So
okay, so y'all know Chicago then. So I do trade shows all the time. If I don't stay next to the trade show, it's a beating for me. I mean, you're already on your feet all day long. I don't want to fight Uber. I don't want to fight the shuttles. Is it worth the extra dollars to stay in the one hotel that's, and I'm saying the one because I looked last night, there's one hotel right next to that still has availability. Yes, I'm unzipping that for everybody now.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well, I thought there was actually a couple. There was one I think we stayed. It was back behind it, but you could actually walk pretty much almost covered all the way to it.
Yeah,
There's three, but the other two are absolutely full, and the third one is got. So I was just gonna book it, and then if we had a national, I had some place to stay. If we didn't have a national, then I can cancel. But is it worth that to stay there? I don't know what the travel is back and forth. So how do y'all do that? Did y'all do that?
So, book that hotel room right now. Like, get off this call and book that hotel.
Yeah,
everybody's running to the lines.
You laugh, but do it.
That skywalk from that building to the Rosemont Center is worth every penny you will pay to book that hotel room right now. I'm dead serious. I believe that road is International that runs. I think that's what the name.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that road is constantly busy, and it's constantly full of foot traffic that is going back and forth from across the street where the restaurants and everything is, and there's two other hotels right there, like you mentioned. They're always full. Book the freaking hotel.
Yeah.
Use code Eric 10. Eric 10 and Eric gets 10%.
Here's the thing. I know that corporate sponsors of that show and the corporate guys who will be there, none of us are staying in that hotel because it's full. Right. Go book that hotel room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's your answer to that one. Hopefully that one helped at least.
No, I appreciate that.
Do you want to give the name of the hotel out for everyone to hear?
And the number?
No, because I'm going to use my points for some of it now. Come on.
Now, one of the things I was going to say is, I know, Eric, you had done it before where the folks have gatherings and we need to do a hobby hotline gathering, but you had done, I think, one, I don't know if it was like, you can eat wings or something like that. So, pay attention to the different folks, corporate folks, they do all kinds of stuff. So it really is great. It's really just, there's just so much to see and do and meet people and talk, and
it's a lot of fun. That particular one you're talking about, that was in Cleveland, and it was at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was we had an all you could eat wing contest, and
the Otani was there. The Otani
Super Fractor was there. We brought in a professional eater, and he just killed everybody. Shout out to the Notorious B.O.B. Last year we had in Chicago, we did something very similar, and it was at a sports complex like across the street from where the National was. It was actually across the hotel, but it wasn't far, across from the Rosemont Center, but it wasn't far. And honestly, that particular thing, the tickets are like $50, maybe $75, but it's just constant giveaways. It's just a stream of giveaways. It's all it is. So it's fun if you get in and want to do that kind of stuff. And what Val is talking about, there are other gatherings. I know guys, and we all know them, that like they would just rent a house for the week and Airbnb it at somebody's house or VRBO and get a house for the week and just like have this big hobby party after the National every night. It happens.
Well, I was thinking about doing that, possibly doing that too, and just whoever, whatever.
That's what I was doing at Atlantic City. I had rented a condo.
I was staying with you.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Exactly. But so definitely disappointing that there is no national, but it'll be
it's like I said this week on the show. It gives you it does stink that we're not going to get together and have this show. I mean, let's not, it is what it is, but it also gives us sort of that 11th, 8, 9, 10, 11 month save more money up and get more trade bait if you're someone that goes for trade nights, and kind of build your coffers up, whether that be cash or inventory and be even more prepared to come to the show to wheel and deal in whatever form.
I heard. I'm sorry, John. I heard all the Chronicles basketball that's not at Walmart is going to be at the National this year. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too.
There's nothing at Walmart. What are you talking about at Walmart?
Yeah,
I think they just put out empty boxes.
That's like a unicorn at Walmart.
They don't even put out the empty boxes. They just let, like this week, my Walmart, they let the guy come in the day before, since ML Holdings gets it delivered the day before. They just let him in the back the day before, and he bought it the day before in the back. So, yeah, you got to love how all that stuff's going on right now. But Chronicles is definitely taking off. You got that right. It's
everything in wax. It's insane.
It really is.
I was saying, I don't know if you can see.
I go to Walmart. I see all the empty display boxes. It's just like boo boo. You didn't get.
They're just setting up with their own chairs.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy. What are we stealing chairs from the home center now and bringing them into the front and sitting down and camping out? Next thing you know, we'll have pop-up tents at 24-hour freaking Walmarts.
See, that's how the NASCAR signings are with the chairs and the pop-up tents. So,
you gotta pardon me if you heard this story. I probably told it 3 or 4 times. The last time I went into Walmart a couple weeks ago, I didn't go there. I went there for some household goods, but obviously I'm going to go to the card aisle and just take a whimsical look at what might be there. And I went in the aisle, and there was a lady. I put her between the age of 30s and 40s, and she had in her hand the whole display rack of optic basketball. They must have restocked. And she saw me looking at the cards and looking at her, and she's very friendly. And she says, I don't know much about this, but I know that after I buy this, I can probably sell it for 3 or 4 times what I'm going to pay for. And, she goes, and she didn't know who Zion Williamson was or John Morant. She just knew she was going to 3 or 4 times her money. And she was nice enough to say, hey, if you want a box or 2, it's just you here. I'd let you have a couple. And I'm like, no, to the victor goes the spoils, and enjoy your catch. And that was it. But that's where the hobby is now, is you have someone who just knows I'm going to come out on the good side of this after I purchase it.
Absolutely. Well, we actually, as we do have about 15 minutes left, TX Car Dude, thanks so much again for calling in, man. We got another caller. We're going to bring in now, Brad.
I'll call you later, John.
Make your reservation.
Yeah, make that reservation.
I'm actually going over to YouTube, and then I'm making the reservation as soon as you kick me off.
What's that hotel again before you go?
Yeah.
Just shout it out there.
Empty Hearts Motel. You should be very, very familiar with it.
Right. Mother's maiden name. Mother's maiden name. No.
My mother's maiden. Yeah, I'm still wondering if the lady that was at Walmart, did she have a ring on, John, or not? Or because you've told the story like 4 or 5 different times.
I just was so enamored with the whole process that I wasn't looking for a ring. I was looking for one box or something.
Absolutely. Well,
John almost ended up on that new HBO show, Hookers and Johns, the card story.
Yeah. He almost did, absolutely. All right, well, guys, we have another caller we're going to bring in now. He's familiar. He's been talking all in the chat all night. Looks like
his fingers got hurt.
Ziggy, what's up, my man?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, beautifully.
So I'll be short. I just want to talk a little bit about retail. I was talking to a friend about this, and we all are aware of all the fraud and the scams and the people stealing and all the stuff going on. It's only going to get worse when you think about in the winter when Prism comes out. If Chronicles is going for $100, Prism Blasters are going to go for $250. So my question, when are the retailers going to say no? I mean, is it really worth Walmart and Target? Do they really want people sitting in the front with chairs? Do they want people fighting over cars? Do they care?
Well,
do
you guys mind if I jump on this one first?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to retail, this is what's going to happen. They're either going to stop putting out. They're either going to put it behind lock and key, and it's going to be like games. It's going to be completely different and not right up there at the front where everyone can just go grab the entire rack. Or you're going to see prices of stuff jacked up like crazy. Now, I promise you, Prison basketball next year, it will not be $20 a blaster. It will be $30 to $35 a blaster. The mega boxes will probably be a lot more. They will be jacking up prices of certain products a lot more, in my opinion. But the only outs they have on this is to either put it behind lock and key, do what some targets are doing where they're limiting 2 per customer, which there's a million ways around that. I don't think it really stops anything. But you put it behind lock or key, or you're going to have to see a lot of products with their prices raised. I mean, I think that's what it's going to come down to if you're going to continue to have Prism and things like that are worth so much, Chronicles that are going to have that high demand in retail.
Now, did you see like Fanatics is getting in there?
Well, Fanatics is getting in everything, man.
Right, but they had 2020 Dunruss football blasters for $30.
Yeah,
$29.99. So I think, Drew, to your point, they're going to try to raise the price because I think they all realize they're leaving money on the table, right? So this is just like the late 80s when you used to be able to get a box for cards for $18, 50 cents a pack, and then at retail, and then everything started going up.
Yeah, I think
so. Again, I would put it on lock and key and limit too, because at least people have a chance. Right? I'll say it's a good. When I go to a Target or Walmart, I do complain to the managers about it. I ask them, does it make it to the show? Are you letting people get the back? Because I want them to complain. I want Target and Walmart to make a change because there's way too much fraud when they're letting employees sell the stuff out of the back. I mean, I'll say this industry is going to get a lot of regulation in it. Let's start regulating itself. Because there's so much money, people are going to start to wondering, what's going on? Are people stealing? So, and that's what I'm saying. Well, Target and Walmart is worth their money. Even if they make $100 a box, do they really want to treat it like cigarettes? Like, this isn't worth my hassle out.
Now, I wonder if,
there's a change.
Like Target and Walmart, that they don't do the volume that, they do for, they don't do the volume of, like how many packets of Oreos or, whatever do they sell a day, a week, a month compared to I don't know how many are in a rack in those boxes at Walmart. So 20 or 30. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Eric.
Well, what I was going to say is I watched a documentary about Walmart one time, and just once. It was just once. That's all I needed. And what I found interesting was that they said once Walmart decides to carry a product, they are like at the top of the line of they buy more of that product than any other company, maybe outside of Amazon. Now, granted, this was an older documentary. So it makes me wonder exactly how much of this product are they getting that we're not seeing, specifically at Walmart.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's the big thing is really like how much of this is not even remotely touching the shelves, how much of this is going to certain places. I mean, I know for a fact I've talked to reporters. I'm doing a lot of investigating in this because I want to find out how deep it goes. But they are being investigated. ML Holdings and all of the distributors are being investigated for what they're doing with these products in North Carolina right now. Who they're being investigated by, what branch of law enforcement, if they're going to do anything, if it even matters. That I don't know. I couldn't begin to tell you. But I do know that here in North Carolina, specifically my area to the Charlotte area, is under some intense scrutiny and is being watched. And hopefully it leads to some kind of change because the stuff's gotten just out of control.
Well, I think what you said, Drew, you're going to see the 1999 blaster box prices are a thing of the past. I think go up. I think really, I know some people are not going to like this answer, and I know it was mentioned already. Maybe you got to put it behind glass and have someone ask and limit it.
Yeah.
But, hey, you know how there's a workaround on that, right? You just call all your non-collecting friends that get here right now. and give them all the
Stand outside. Every single person that walks by want to make $3. Go inside and buy that. Okay.
Well, they also sell this online, and the bots are getting it on the pre-sale as well. So
we're screwed. This is over. We're all done. We're gonna have to find something else to collect. Y'all like stamps? You want to talk about stamps next week?
It's all there.
Yeah, stamps, NASCAR, everything. Jude would be down with Pokemon, right, Jude? You want to collect Pokemon? Come show him your cool Pokemon card.
You better get those are flying off the shelf too. They're not far behind.
They are. They're really not. I mean, Jude's got a couple of them that are incredibly expensive. I didn't really mean to bring that in here, but Jude, see, he father like son. He brings the book in that's full of everything, but tons of Pokemon's definitely selling well. Everything's selling well. I mean, literally everything.
So somebody says, Kevin Jones says, one way to combat it is to for buyers to stop paying these huge upcharges. But I don't know if people have that much discipline not to.
It's not that
not
though.
To go for it.
Yeah, but it's also the fact that they're paying these huge upcharges. But it would be different if hobby was staying the same price while retail rose. But hobby is skyrocketing through the roof as well. So when retail rises also, well, it's still cheaper, the same difference, than it is in hobby. So the still more affordable. That's where the problem comes.
I got to choose my words carefully here. I was going to say the problem is, but that's not really the right way to say it. The issue is, it's not one segment just buying this all up.
Right.
So if it's a breaker sees it, he's going to buy it all up and break it. If this lady I saw at Target, she don't even know what it is. She just sees dollar signs. She's going to buy it all up. I'm going to buy it all. It's not just one faction of the hobby that's buying it all up. It's almost every faction of the hobby. So that's what you're up against. You're not fighting one war. You're fighting multiple on all fronts. And I think we could go off on this tangent, but the direct to consumer I think is going to be where the wax winds up going long term.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely! I completely agree with you. All right, y'all. Well, it is 8:55, so looks like we are probably going to begin to wrap everything up on this Monday evening. Before we go, though, I would like to first thank Mr. Norton for dropping in and kind of filling in for us, as we had a couple guys who had to step out for some other reasons. So, Eric, thanks so much for hanging in there on the hotline.
Thank you very much, guys, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and let everybody know. I know you've got an awesome show going on. I absolutely love it. But tell everybody where they can find it and everything for those.
Yes. So the Fat Packs is no longer. I've said that a couple of times. It's okay. I'm okay. It was my decision, actually. Yeah. So we now it's Beckett Live Presents. We are live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. This week we have a great lineup of shows. Tomorrow night I'm going to be hanging out with Mr. Ken Golden, and we are going to talk about his current auction that's up. Also, just want to give a big push right now, if I can, for anybody who goes and registers on just registers on the Golden Auctions account through the show will get I believe it's $100 credit. I think that's what it is. Don't get me wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Also, tomorrow we're gonna have a special day show. Drew, this might be a little special for you as well. We're gonna have Leighton Sheldon from Vintage Breaks on for a special day show. And then Wednesday night we got Brothers and Cards, and Thursday night we got our football editor David Lee is going to be on with us as we wrap out the week.
Very nice. Well, guys, definitely check all that out. Leighton was actually on my latest episode. Let me get that potograph that dropped today, so definitely check that out as well. And but once again, Eric, thanks so much for joining. And Val,
hey Zig, I'm sorry, Ziggy wants to know what time the show is. Ziggy, it's at 7 p.m. Central, and you can find it if you go to Beckett Media on Facebook. You'll find it there. We're on Twitter and YouTube as well.
Yep. And Val, thanks so much as always for stopping in. And John, I know you've got your regular show that comes out every single Friday, Sports Card Nation. And if you want to see John in a hot tub talking to me, we just did an episode just the other day with some pretty good stuff as well. I'm sure he's got a Hobby Quick Hits coming up. Just Wednesday, and then I've also got an episode of Heart of the Hobby coming out Wednesday or Thursday. So a lot of awesome content coming your guys' way.
I just want to say one thing to Eric before we sign off. Like, he watched the documentary on Walmart. It's a lot better just to go in there and spend an hour and just look, just people watch. It's better than the documentary.
Every time I do that, I feel like I need an adult, like I'm watching a guy in a hot tub do a podcast. So I just don't do that, man. It's just not safe.
I hear you. Well, guys, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. For myself, John, Val, and our very special guest, Mr. Eric Norton. You guys have a wonderful week. Rip those packs, pull some hits, tons of content coming your way, and we will talk to you Saturday.
See you, Jude.
Yeah.
Be safe, everybody.
Bye. See y'all later.
Good night.